Hey, this is me building a $3 million a year business in public. The way these videos go is I start with some Q&A just to reward everybody for watching, drive some instant engagement. Then I do some growth stats so you guys can see the growth of the business and brand over time. And then finally, I round it out with some live strategy. This is the main channel. Oops. This is the main channel in case you've never seen it before. I just hit 106,000 subs. And then this is my daily updates channel with the cute little goat thumbnail because I hit #1 on school the other day. This is the comment thread. And basically, I just go to the very bottom of it and start answering. I'm trying out a new mic today, so hopefully that's going to be okay. We will see. But yeah, the first question is from Things IRL. Hey, Nick, thanks for your amazing guidance. Really appreciate it. What do you mean by an asset? Can you help me a bit more? I can't do Loom videos as I currently don't have any sort of webcam or anything like that. So what could be my other options? And about the cold emails, I certainly don't have any money, but I do have a subscription to a cold emailing software called ManyReach. I know it's not the best, but it does work, and I don't have custom domains. I'm using Gmails for now. After getting my first couple of clients, I'll invest in things like a good webcam or a good laptop, Loom videos, or improving my outreach methods. Right now, I don't have a laptop. All I have is an old PC to do the outreach and build automation. As for the Zoom call, I'll manage. Maybe I'll ask one of my mates for their laptop, but can't do that for Zoom videos or Loom videos as that may take too long. Cool. So there's a lot going on over here. Obviously, you're very financially and kind of resource constrained. You don't have some of like the basic things. Well, some of the things that I probably consider basic these days, like a laptop with some sort of webcam, some sort of microphone or whatever built in. But what I like about you is that you are actively thinking about how you could solve these problems. I think it'd be easy for somebody in your shoes to just say, I don't really have any of that stuff, so I can't even try. But you're thinking, hey, so I don't have these things, so how can I still get stuff done? So, that mindset is going to take you very far right off the bat. When I say asset, you're referring to the asset-based outreach strategy that I've talked about before, which in a nutshell, if you guys are new to it, is where you design some sort of asset that's high quality and customized to a prospect that solves some problem for them. And then you just give it to them without asking really for much in return. And you use that to sort of ice break instead of just like a cold email or whatever. These things are obviously very high value and they're very, very effective if you can design something that effectively handles the pain points that the person on the other end of the line is suffering from. But the trade-off is it just takes you a ton of time and energy to put together, right? Like you're designing an asset. So what are some examples of assets? One thing I did on video was I generated a bunch of newsletters using AI and the customer's website. And then I pumped them into a high quality newsletter format that I've used for myself. And then I generated like a nice sounding newsletter that was, I don't know, like it's not perfect, but it's like 80-90% of the way there. So that's considered valuable. What's another example of an asset? Maybe you're targeting coaches or consultants. So what you do is you, run some automation that finds like the top 10 trending videos in their niche. You pass the titles of those into AI, and then you have AI generate a bunch of like high quality title candidates and then give it to them. A variety of other things you could do too. You could, one thing the video editors do a lot of is they actually go and then, this is more manual, but they will do an edit of the person's video. And then they'll give it to them and say, hey, I know we haven't talked before, but I love your channel. I've been following you for a while. I've actually edited a bunch of stuff for you. So I just want to put it in front of you because I know that giving value is how you get ahead in any industry. And whether or not you want me to edit for you, just wanted you to have it. Hopefully this helps. Do whatever you want with it. You could pump long form videos into short form content generators like opus.clip or something, that allows you to make a bunch of short clips. And then you send it to an influencer or creator and say, hey, I just clipped a bunch of your content for free. Take it. I just want to let you know that I do this stuff professionally and I'd be happy to do it for you because I really like your brand. I'm just throwing like tons of ideas at the wall here. You can use any of these or any combination of any of these in your individual outreach and you'll do just fine. Okay, so that's what I mean by assets. And the thing is, in your case, because you don't have a Loom video, so you can't record anything super custom, you don't have any sort of like cold email platform, this is probably your best bet, right? Because what you're doing is you're leveraging your skill in determining or in building an asset, as opposed to, let's say your skill as a salesperson or something like that, which may not necessarily be there. It also sounds like you don't really have the ability to do things like record videos, which are obviously high value, and so on and so forth. Okay. So these are all just some ideas that you could use. And then, yeah, I like the Zoom call. Ask one of your mates for the laptop, get on the call that way. Yeah, that's very, very good. You got a lot of gumption, I would say, which is, it is necessary. Albert says, hey, Nick, can you please guide me on how to set up the pricing for the monthly retainer for automation services? I thought it works like this. I create the automation, register the client, set up the automation on their account, then they have access to it. But if I want to introduce a retainer model, do I need to add myself as an admin to have access to their end account and manage the automation? What exactly will the client be paying the retainer for? What will I be doing as part of the retainer, and how do I determine the cost? These are some solid questions. For those of you guys that are unaware of this, retainers are just a recurring services model where instead of somebody paying you for a one-time project, like I think most people probably think of services in the context of, they pay you every month. usually. And in addition to delivering them projects, you also add a bunch of other things. So let me show you just a very quick example of pre and post retainer. Okay. So there's kind of two types, because there's two types of billing models. There's the hourly billing model. So previously, let's say you did 20 hours of work for somebody and you did it at $50 an hour. How much money are they paying you that month? They're paying you $1,000, right? That said, this isn't guaranteed. Some months will be 25 hours. Other months will be 15 hours. Some months they might not pay you at all. So what a retainer allows you to do, what a retainer allows you to do is the retainer allows you, in exchange for some of this money, you get the customer to lock in. So they actually buy $20 an hour or 20 hours at some discount, let's say $45 an hour now. So you make $900. But the difference is they prepay. So they pay you ahead of time. They lock in the hours. You now can schedule clients because you know exactly how much in volume you're going to be doing for client one, exactly how much in volume you're going to be doing for client two. It allows your life to be a lot easier, as opposed to having like random fluctuations in hours and stuff like that, like a lot of people see when they do like basic hourly pricing models. Okay. So the way that you do the retainer, at least this is for hourly, you can do the same thing for fixed price, by the way. Like, previously it was like one project per month at, I don't know, let's just say $1,000. I'm keeping the prices really low here. Afterwards, you do one project a month at like $900 a month or something, right? But then you add in a bunch of extras. The reason why retainers are so good is because recurring revenue is the way to go. Normally, customer acquisition cost can be 5% to 15% of the total margin on one-time deals. What that means is, let's say a deal makes you $2,000. Let's do $1,000 just because I'm using that as my thing. In order to acquire a $1,000 deal, you might actually have spent anywhere between $50 to $150. Let's say $150. That means that on a one-time deal, right off the top, before you even pay for software, before you pay for your own business, before you pay yourself, before you pay taxes, you're the max amount you're making is $850. Okay. Now imagine you get a $1,000 retainer instead. And imagine that they stay with you for 6 months. Well, now the lifetime value is $6,000, right? If you subtract out the acquisition cost, you're now making $5,850. So do you know what 850 is as a proportion of 1,000? That's 85% margin. But do you know what 5,850 is as a proportion of 6,000? I don't at all. That's why I'm going to pump it into my calculator in a second. 97.5% margin. Obviously, you want 97.5% margin, not 85% margin, right? And that's not even taking into account all the rest of the benefits of a retainer, like, as I mentioned, stable work, better client relationships, more opportunity for partnerships and whatnot. All right, so now that everybody is up to speed on what a retainer is and why retainers are cool, the way I would structure retainers is you don't just add in the services. You add in the service or the project that you were doing before, plus a bunch of other stuff to make the retainer a no-brainer for them. What do I mean? I mean, maybe you offer in a one-time, this is what I do, a one-time weekly strategy call, which is 45 minutes. Maybe you give them unlimited maintenance. So you say, hey, instead of you having to like pay me one-off, sorry, I'm lagging here because my computer's not plugged in. Instead of you having to pay me one-off for like random fixes here or there at like my normal rate of $100 an hour, I'm just going to include all that in the retainer. So like, if there's any issue with a system, and we define issue as like there's some problem with the API, or there's some issue with like the no-code platform, or there's some server outage or whatever, I will fix that for you completely for free as part of my retainer. This is part of my peace of mind guarantee or something like that, right? You can pitch it however you want. Maybe you give them availability and you say, hey, if you reach out to me between 12 p.m. until 2 p.m., Monday to Friday, I'll respond within 15 minutes through Slack. What does this mean? Emergency Q&A. So that if they need some training or they have like access to some resource, they just want to like know, hey, how do I update this or whatever? You just respond to them through Slack. These are all things that you do in addition to the money in addition to the core service, the core project. And this makes a retainer a lot more preferable from the client perspective, but it doesn't scale one-to-one with your time, right? And then it allows you to get into the situation where you have like, multiples on your time with the $6,000 a lifetime value instead of the $1,000. So that's one thing. And the other reason why retainers is so great is because you're usually not fully utilized, believe it or not. Very few retainers will ever fully utilize you. Nobody really talks about this, but this is kind of like the hacky part. If somebody purchases 20 hours a month off of you and you charge them a discount, let's say $45 an hour, $45 an hour instead of your normal hourly rate of $50, right? You may think, well, I'm only making $900 now. But realistically, do you know how many hours they're actually going to use you? They're probably going to use like 18. So you're actually working the exact same hourly rate, which is $50 an hour. But now you just locked somebody in for a 6-month plan. So yeah, hopefully you guys see the logic behind retainers and why they're so valuable. But that is the main thing. And then obviously from the customer perspective and from your perspective, it's way better to work with people that you've already worked with before because you get to know their business. So your solutions are more nuanced. You can deliver more value. In addition to the full utilization and stuff, you usually get like more referrals. You work less for the same time. The benefit of the AI automation model is you get to build systems that deliver value for you so that even if you're not necessarily delivering value with your time, the customer still feels like you're delivering some value. Oh, Nick's cold email system generated me 23 leads last month. Like that is extraordinarily valuable. Whether or not I'm physically there working on their systems, my system does itself, right? Hopefully that answers your question. And yeah, I know I answered that a little more thoroughly than I probably needed to. Thank you, Harshit. Much appreciated, man. Okay, Athe Maya says, hey, Nick, thanks for your content. I'm trying to find a format to create content. Your format on Instagram is different from what you deliver on your YouTube channels. The subject itself is not exactly a content waterfall from the long form feast. Did you think about that, about creating something more optimized for Instagram? Currently seeking consistency between YouTube and Instagram is still lost with the format. Any insights you could share would make me very happy. Thank you. Yeah, for sure. So what are you doing right now? Can I open up your thing and see? 1.73 thousand. Is this a picture of you? I know it's AI generated. That makes sense. I was kind of looking at that. I was like, is that a cartoon? What's going on? So, looks like average length of your videos is pretty long. It's like 20 to 30 minutes, right? Some are shorter, some are longer, but yeah, on average, it's like 20 to 30 minutes. You have a couple that are just massive outliers. Like this one's like 85 times. Like that's wild. Smaller channels are so crazy because they can do this, right? This one's 167 times. Like, boom, that's a banger. So, let me think. We chose AI News for Instagram because it was a mostly automatable format, and my content guy had proven experience creating similar types of content. I'm not trying to say it's the best type of content, but it's very standardized, and we can build a pretty good pipeline with it that enabled us to pump out a lot in a very short period of time. So it's not necessarily that we picked the perfect format. It's just we picked the format that, if you zoom out, allowed us to produce a lot of content that was pretty good quality in a short period of time. So you don't have to have congruence between your Instagram and your YouTube content, right? Like I definitely don't. They're very, very different. So we're just trying to like find things that are optimized to the platform that we're doing it on. So you could do a ton of stuff. I'm sure you could do something similar. You could do clipping versions of the content you're making. One of our clipping channels, I think, is about to hit 1,000 subscribers, and so on and so forth. But yeah, nice job so far. Stoked to see. The hot seat says, what 3 or more AI systems would you put in place for digital course business that's sold on a WAP? Your digital course business that's sold on a WAP? I don't understand. Are you selling this to digital course business creators on a WAP? What AI systems would I put in place for digital course business that's sold on a WAP? I'm not really sure, to be honest. I feel like WAP is more automatable than school, because school's really like, they've purposely kept everything simple at the cost of like developer quality of life, I would say. So I don't actually know. I have no idea what like WAP can do. Have I ever targeted somebody that's done WAP before? No. But presumably, if you're on WAP, you're probably running some sort of inbound funnel, right? So you probably have a brand. And if you have a brand, you could make use of my YouTube systems. Yeah. If you go into Maker School here, one of the niches in my niche packs, and niche packs are a new offering that I'm providing, where basically I create optimized versions of like optimized sets of automations that you can sell specifically to niches. So one was coaches, consultants on YouTube. And then I post a YouTube video on it where I gatekeep the blueprints inside of Make. But yeah, there are 4 systems here. One's like a unique content repurposing system. This will probably improve your top of funnel, which will get more people into your WAP community in the first place. There's a trend detector system here that just sends you a daily digest of like multiples. It recreates 1 of 10 and vidIQ and that sort of stuff. Nothing super crazy special there. And then there's a YouTube comment ideator, which just takes a bunch of YouTube comments and then turns those into content ideas. So are these directly related to WAP? No, but WAP probably means content. And content, the more content you post, the more people are probably going to be in WAP. So this helps content. And then, yeah, I guess tangentially it's going to help your WAP business. Just off the top of my head, I don't know if this would actually help a ton. But yeah. Okay, we're at 15 minutes here. And by the way, I know that I didn't do my, I know I didn't like leave the timestamps and stuff. I'm waiting to hear back from the people that I left the timestamps on yesterday before determining whether or not I'm going to do it moving forward. So if I left a timestamp on your comment the other day and you guys liked it, just let me know and then I'll keep it up. Let's do some brand stats. I'm going to blast up as well. Brand stats is obviously where I just like monitor my growth over the course of the last, I guess we're at over 100 days now or something like that. About 100 days. I don't know. So May the 14th, I was at 105,554 on the main. Now I'm at 106,868. Oh, I got to switch my account to Nick Saraev right over here. One sec. Okay, we are seeing all of my anime weeaboo stuff. Okay, 106,886. Very cool. You guys ever watched To Your Eternity? It's incredible. One of the greatest shows I've ever watched. Such a crazy premise too. Okay, 154,783, and then my daily updates channel. Pardon me, 5342 right here. So yeah, I mean, the growth has been substantially higher now that I've started adding it on my YouTube descriptions, right? That's pretty cool. Also, I think Johan, my editor, might be adding these like at the end of my videos too. So that's cool. And growth, kicked back up again. About 1.2% seems to be like the running standard right now. I'm surprised I'm consistently growing at over 1,000 every day. That's cool. So that's fun. Yeah. Super excited about the YouTube stuff. I just got the silver play button shipped. So I don't know how long that's going to take to get to me, but that's kind of cool. So you know how the YouTube creators always have like some little statue in the background? Well, when you hit 100,000 subscribers, they they send one to you for free. And I just realized you can actually just buy them. Like the service that YouTube partners with to do this for you sells them for 125 bucks. Like, so if you can verify your subscriber count, you can just buy as many as you want. So that's kind of funny. Just buy like 500. I could like totally flex on other YouTube creators because I could just have like 20 in my background. Be like, yeah, you guys have lots of followers, but I have lots of money. So that's cool. What else is going on? Yeah, not gonna lie, the last 24 hours has been pretty intense with the Maker School signups. So ever since I hit number 1, it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. I've since gone up quite a bit since then. Like with, yesterday I was about equal with the number 2 guy. And then now I'm like 6,000 or 7,000 in MRR higher than him, which is wild. So you know what they say, success begets success. And as a result, we've had a massive flood of new signups, which has led to a massive flood of like Upwork roast requests, which is honestly the timeliest part of my Maker School management. Like me answering questions through text and stuff, very scalable, but me doing the Loom videos customized for everybody is less scalable. Still, it's not that bad, like in the grand scheme of things. I think I spent 2 hours and 2.5 hours today on Maker School catching up. I also didn't like do all the management that I was planning on doing yesterday, so. Yeah, definitely a lot of time on Maker School on the last day. But I guess when you're the number 1 school community, you're trying to manage it basically completely on your own. You should expect to spend about 2.5 hours a day on it. Like that's kind of stupid, right? Like 2.5 hours, $250,000. It's not that bad. My community manager is probably my current community manager is probably going to dip at the end of the month. Just has a lot going on in his life right now. And I think he has like some higher paying opportunities elsewhere. So we're friends. So it's not like it's like, like obviously I'd love to have him around, but I'm ambivalent about it. It's not like the end of the world or anything. I'm sure I can make it work. So I'm kind of caught up here between 2 options. Okay. One option is I hire another community manager. And then, they got to do something wild every day. They got to like respond to 50 posts a day, 100 posts a day or something. Right now, the average influx is somewhere between like 90-ish posts a day in Maker School. So they got to respond to like most of them, I would say. And, you know, if they want to respond to all of them, then maybe I pay them a little bit more money or something. But I get somebody on board which does this. And then ideally, it'd be somebody sourced from my community that is really good with most of the tools and the technologies that I talk about, and is also like good writer and writes pretty quickly. I would say like you kind of need to do that if you're going to be like a community manager, to be honest. Or the second alternative is I just I flex on everybody and I just do it all myself. And then I have the top #1 rated community on planet Earth with literally just me. That would be pretty funny. Because I've basically been doing that for the last few days, and like it's totally doable. I do spend more time, you know, answering people, to be clear, but that'd be quite the flex, huh? Like most other people have massive teams that do this shit. It's just like me, just some dude in his boxers wiping the crust out of his eyes when he responds. I'm telling you guys, that first 2 hours of your day, like immediately after you wake up, like where you just dose some coffee or whatever, and you just lock the hell in responding to maker school threads, that's got to be some of the funnest times of my entire day, because the leverage is so crazy, right? Like you respond to one post and like 2,000 people see it, and then like 2,000 people level up a little bit. They don't all see it at the same time. I should say 2,000 people see it over the course of like a month or so. So yeah, it's pretty sweet. We'll see what I do there. Like, yeah, yeah. A lot of people that I've talked to are like, "Oh, dude, you're spending so much time doing this." But the way I see it is like, well, shouldn't you though? Like, if this is like the best thing ever, you make the most money out of it. Sorry, you make the most money on it out of literally everything else you're doing. Shouldn't you spend most of your time on it? I don't spend most of my time on it anyway. Like I spend like a pretty small portion of my time on it, all things considered. So like, doesn't that make sense? I don't know. Am I crazy here? Like this, my average daily time spent, not including today, is like an hour and 45 minutes or so, I would say. So like, is that really that wild? I don't think that's that wild, man. Like, yeah, I think most other people are probably spending that much time and they're not doing it themselves. And they have like massive teams that are doing it. They're just managing the teams. Like how much more straightforward is it if I get to leverage my exceptional skill and speed at all these things to just do it myself? Then I spend another, you know, half an hour recording videos like this, spend another like 45 minutes recording like my main channel content. I basically like do all the info product stuff in 4 hours. And I have the rest of my day available, obviously to service my pre-existing client base for the agency stuff, but also just like focus on cool other stuff. I mean, like, you know, yeah, like average workday, the average person does 8 hours a day, right? Like that's not that crazy. I don't know, man. I have so many people that are like, "Oh, it's so crazy that you're publishing one video every day." And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, doesn't it make sense though? It's like 45 minutes a day. And then I have like a team members that like help me on the front end, team members that help me on the back end. So what I actually have to do is like 45 minutes a day. It's like, you know, back when I was working like a full-time job, really wasn't that long ago, to be honest. But back when I was working a full-time job, like you were expected to be there like 6 to 8 hours a day, right? So I don't know. Is it really that crazy to spend like 45 minutes to an hour doing something? No, I don't think so. I guess the difference is that I do it every day as opposed to like 4 or 5 days a week, like some people do their full-time employment with. And I just like never take any days off because I think the momentum is so important. So maybe there's something there. I don't know. Just brainstorming out loud. Anyway, last thing I'll mention before I get off here is I think it was one of my daily updates members. They told me I should get some optimized lav mic for traveling. So I did. This is my optimized lav mic. It's called the Hollyland Mark II or something like that. And it is super convenient. You literally like, there's just this little bubble thing, and then you just have a magnet on the back end. You just like attach it to your collar, and then you're done. And honestly, I think the audio quality on this puppy is like pretty good. So I pass everything through an audio post-processing library anyway called Ophonic, which just makes the audio even better. But I think like this, I don't know if it'll be indistinguishable from the other mic, but I think it's gonna be pretty good. And the issue I've had with these mics up until now is just like the placement of it. But this one just is with the magnet and stuff, it allows it to be like oriented directly at my mouth, which I think helps. And yeah, it's just way more convenient than having to lug around like a big mic. I did, just in case, but yeah, I'm just on a short little trip to Banff. It's about like an hour drive out of Calgary. So I decided that this would be a good opportunity for me to test my microphone setup. So pretty stoked. I think I'm gonna leave it there. If you guys have any issues with the audio quality, just let me know. I'm not gonna watch this whole video, but I'll probably listen to the first 30 seconds of it. Aside from that, thank you very much. And yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Cheers, guys.